Soccer Ball, the boy who dreamed of the World Cup. Part 1. The Dream. The sun had not yet risen over the small village of Nyakura. The world was still asleep. The chickens had not started crowing. The farmers had not yet stepped into their fields. Only one person was awake. A 12-year-old boy named Kofi. Barefoot and dressed in old clothes, Kofi quietly stepped outside his family's small mud house. The air was cold. The ground was damp. But none of that mattered. His heart was already racing with excitement. In his hands was something precious. Not a real football. Not even close. It was a ball made from old plastic bags tied together with worn-out strings. It was ugly. It was uneven. And it fell apart every few weeks. But to Kofi, it was the most valuable thing in the world, because it allowed him to dream. Every morning before school, Kofi walked to an empty field at the edge of the village. The field wasn't really a football pitch. It was a rough piece of land filled with stones, holes, and patches of dry grass. 2 old tree branches served as goalposts. The white lines existed only in Kofi's imagination. But when he stepped onto that field, something magical happened. The dusty village disappeared. The broken goalposts disappeared. The poverty disappeared. In his mind, he was no longer a village boy. He was a football star. The crowd roared his name. Thousands of fans filled the stadium. Bright lights shined above him. Commentators shouted excitedly. Kofi has the ball. He moves past one defender. Past another. He's through on goal. Kofi sprinted across the field. He kicked the plastic ball with all his strength. The ball flew between the tree branches. Goal! The imaginary crowd exploded with joy. Kofi threw his arms into the air. For a moment, it felt real. Very real. Then a strong wind blew dust into his face. The dream vanished. He looked around. The stadium was gone. The fans were gone. There was only silence. Only an empty field. Only a poor boy. Only a plastic ball. Yet Kofi smiled, because he knew one thing. Every great player started somewhere. Every legend had once been a child with a dream. And his dream was bigger than anything the village had ever seen. One evening, after finishing his chores, Kofi sat outside a small electronics shop in the village. The shop owner owned the only television for many miles. Whenever an important football match was on, people gathered outside to watch through the window. That night, highlights from the FIFA World Cup were playing. Kofi sat on the ground, unable to take his eyes off the screen. Massive stadiums, millions of fans, players wearing their national colors, flags waving proudly, national anthems echoing through the air. His heart pounded. The players looked like superheroes. Every touch of the ball seemed magical. Every goal felt impossible. As he watched, something deep inside him grew stronger. A dream, a belief, a vision. One day, he would be there, not watching through a dusty window, not sitting outside a small shop, not imagining. He would walk onto that field himself. He would hear the crowd. He would wear his country's jersey. He would play in the World Cup. The thought made him smile. Then someone laughed behind him. A group of older boys had overheard him. "You," one of them laughed. "You think you'll play in the World Cup?" The others burst into laughter. Kofi remained silent. Another boy pointed at his worn-out sandals. "You don't even own football boots." More laughter. A third boy shook his head. "People from villages like this don't become World Cup players." The words hurt. But Kofi said nothing. He simply looked back at the television, back at the players, back at the dream. Because deep down, he knew something. Dreams always sound impossible before they happen. That night, Kofi lay awake on his small bed. Rain tapped softly against the roof. His younger brothers slept beside him. The house was dark, but his mind was alive. He imagined himself years in the future, walking into a giant stadium, wearing his national jersey, holding hands with young mascots, listening to the national anthem, representing millions of people. The image felt so real that tears filled his eyes. Not tears of sadness, tears of hope, because for the first time in his life, he had discovered something worth fighting for. The next morning, Kofi woke before sunrise once again. He trained harder. He ran farther. He practiced longer. Sometimes he dribbled around rocks. Sometimes he shot between trees. Sometimes he played completely alone. Yet he never complained, because every kick brought him one step closer to the dream. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And still, Kofi continued. Many people thought he was wasting his time. His family worried about him. His friends didn't understand him. But Kofi understood something they didn't. Talent can inspire a dream, but discipline turns a dream into reality. One afternoon, while helping his father harvest crops, Kofi asked a question. "Father, do you think someone from our village can play in the World Cup?" His father paused. He looked at his son. Then he smiled. "It won't be easy." Kofi lowered his head, but his father continued. "Easy and impossible are not the same thing." Kofi looked up. His father's eyes were serious. "If your dream is worth having, it is worth fighting for." Those words stayed with Kofi forever. From that day forward, every obstacle became fuel. Every insult became motivation. Every doubt became determination. And every morning before sunrise, the boy returned to the dusty field. The same plastic ball, the same dream. But something was changing. Slowly, quietly, without anyone noticing. The dream was becoming stronger than the fear. Stronger than poverty. Stronger than doubt. Stronger than reality itself. And somewhere in the distance, a future was waiting. A future filled with stadium lights, crowds, football, and the biggest stage in the world, the FIFA World Cup. But Kofi didn't know that yet. For now, he was still just a village boy. A boy with no boots, no coach, no money, no connections, nothing except a dream. And sometimes, a dream is all a champion needs.